So it's a fantastic day today and I'm glad you're here with me for another episode. In this episode I try to help you to find out if your 3DS game is resealed or fake. When Nintendo announced a couple years ago that they discontinued the 3DS, I had this notion the 3DS will be a retro console in the future and there will be games that will be hard to get. So I started collecting Nintendo games, Nintendo 3DS games a lot. And 3 years later I collected a lot of experience. I stumbled upon a lot of resealed games and fake games. So I thought, why not take all this experience that I collected and make an episode to maybe help you out there. But before I start, I have to give you a disclaimer here. It's not an ultimate guide. It's just my personal experiences that I collected over the last almost 3 years now. So yeah, it's just my personal opinions and I try to help you here. So here we go. So the first thing to look out for is the packaging, the wrapping around the games. And there are two really common techniques to wrap video games. One is called an overwrapping or perfume wrapping, which has a fold on top and on the bottom. Always looks kind of clean. You don't have any weird leftovers on the corners and stuff, plastic leftovers. And then there's shrink wrapping. And shrink wrapping, as you can see in the picture here, it doesn't look as nice and tidy as the overwrapping or perfume wrapping. And like the name says, they use heat to shrink the plastic around the packaging. And this never looks really clean and nice. But overwrapping techniques or perfume wrapping techniques, as you can see here, this is an original copy of a 3DS game. It always looks nice and smooth. And again, you can look out for these folds on top and on the bottom. It's like if you buy a perfume bottle, these come in packages and these packages are always enclosed into wrapping, which looks really nice and it's really flat. And yeah, there are no weird corners or stuff like that. So this is the first thing to look out for. But behold, there are actually shrink wrap games. Again, this is only for Europe. If you go to America, it's really common that you have original Nintendo 3DS games that are shrink wrap actually. And also there are some third-party companies that sometimes even use shrink wrapping, even in Europe. For instance, when I was buying Atlas games, they came shrink wrapped and I was 100% sure that these were fake. But after a bit of research, I found out that they use their own companies to wrap the games into plastic and they actually sometimes use shrink wrap. So if you buy an original Nintendo game, first-party game or third-party games that are distributed by Nintendo, most of the times they use this overwrapping, this clean wrapping technique. Also the plastic always feels a bit different. If you have shrink wrapped games, the plastic is more softer. With the perfume wrapping or overwrapping technique with the folds, always the plastic is a bit more sturdier. Again, it folds perfectly over the corners. And yeah, it's a bit hard to describe for me, but I really hope you know what I mean here. And one of the big main reasons why I chose to only take European games and not US games is this Nintendo seal stripe that you can see here. You can peel this off to open the game actually, and it has the Nintendo logo. It goes all around the game as you can see. And this is a really good indicator to spot if this game isn't resealed. Look out for this Nintendo seal stripe. I haven't come across any fakes where they try to fake this stripe. It really is hard to do that. And again, if you see, it has this overwrapping technique with the folds and it has the seal here, this Nintendo seal. You're good to go. In most of the cases, Nintendo uses this for European games. I would say maybe 90-95%. So it's a big chance. If you see the seal, you know, okay, this is a legit copy here. If you come across a shrink wrap game though, look out for dirt, crumbs, residue, small debris, lint, or even hair. Yeah, this happened to me. If this is enclosed into the wrapper, into the game, behind the plastic, you know, this was resealed. And I came across these games a lot of times where there again was hair, small debris, all kind of stuff enclosed into the game. And you know, okay, this is not legit. Somebody resealed that game. So look out for that. Also, if you open a shrink wrap game, open it and the first thing you should do after you don't see debris or any stuff enclosed, have a smell. If it smells like cigarette smoke or has a moldy smell or maybe a musty odor or other weird odors, you can be sure this was resealed. If you open a new sealed game, this always should have a factory smell, a new game smell. I would describe it as a nice smell. It shouldn't have any odors or anything. And also if it's shrink wrapped, look out for yellowing. In most of the cases, these games are put somewhere in boxes in storage, not into a direct sunlight for, let's say, 5 or 10 years. So yellowing could occur even by sealed games, especially in the future if people decide to store these in direct sunlight. But most of the times, look out for yellowing. If there's yellowing, you can be sure this most likely is resealed. Now, let's decide we open the game, we remove the wrapper. We saw the Nintendo stripe, we saw that it has this overwrapping technique with the folds. We didn't see any debris or dirt or crumbs sealed within the plastic. It doesn't have any smells or anything. We open the game now, and the game case has actually some indicators. You can see in the inside here of the game case, there are 2 Nintendo 3DS logos on both sides, one smaller one and one bigger one, and these should always be in there. I come across some cases where I saw these weren't in there, and this definitely shows that the game case is fake, because sometimes they only have the cartridge and some booklets or leaflets or whatever, and they decide to use fake cases and then reseal them to make a higher price when they sell this online. So always look out for the game cases. And one thing, it's a bit hard to describe, but the original Nintendo game cases, they are kind of matte, as you can see here. I tried to put this on camera here. If you have a fake case, it actually feels a bit more rougher. And also the fake cases are harder plastic. This means these are harder to open, the cases. And also, if you try to take out the 3DS game cartridge, it's really hard, as you can see. You really have to take a lot of force to get this out, and it feels really unnatural. And also, if you try to insert it back into the game case, it's really hard. And this is because they used a fake plastic, a harder plastic than Nintendo's using, because with the original copies you have a softer plastic, and again it's matte. This is a good sign to see if it's a fake game case or not. Also, if you close the game cases again, opening and closing also should be really easy. If it's a bit harder, it might be possible that it's a fake game case. And you can see here I put a fake game case and a real game case next to each other, and you can see the Street Fighter 4 3D game case here. At the top it has the perfect 3D printed cutouts, and also it has some holes on the side. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the original Nintendo game cases, they are just perfect. They have like round corners, they're not too weirdly perfectly shaped and too pointy, if you know what I mean. And yeah, this is something that you can also look out for. The mold, the shape of the 3D cases, if you put 3D games next to each other, they always should be identical. Again, there are re-releases coming our way where actually the game cases will be a bit smaller. I haven't come across any of these, but if the mold or shape looks a bit different to all your other 3DS games, this would show that this might be a fake. Then one thing which I came across a bunch of times, at least half a dozen of times, is the booklet. If you open a sealed game, open the game case, and inside the booklet already has some wear and tear, you know this was resealed. Again, like I just described, they take a fake 3D printed game case and reseal it, and then it looks new. But as soon as you open it, it smells like cigarette smoke, or you see debris enclosed, or your booklet has signs of use. Like there shouldn't be any wear or tear, there shouldn't be scuffs or fading or cracks, rips, scratches, whatever you want to call them. A new game should look new. Another thing that I came across were Atlas games. I bought a couple of them. Some of them were re-releases, and some of them didn't come with booklets. This didn't mean that they were fakes. They were totally legit copies. I don't know why they did this. Maybe they forgot to put this in there in the factory. Maybe they didn't put them in there because, yeah, to save some money. I think some of them have digital booklets. So I did some research. I couldn't find anything. My guesses are they wanted to save some money. They wanted to do something for the environment. They changed to digital booklets because older versions of these games actually came with booklets, but the newer versions didn't come with booklets. But this doesn't mean that these games are fake or resealed. It just means these are re-releases, newer versions of the game. And again, to summarize everything, I haven't come across any fake or replica 3DS game cartridges. It really is common with Game Boy Advance or even DS games, but I guess it's just a matter of time until we see the first fake 3DS games surfacing online. And to round this all up, again, there are other companies processing and manufacturing or distributing 3DS games, sealing them, wrapping them, packaging them. There are new re-releases coming our way, and this always isn't 100% guarantee, but with these things to watch out to or to look out for, you are more safe to spot a fake or resealed 3DS game. Okay, that's it. These are my tips, my experiences on how to spot a fake or resealed Nintendo 3DS game. I really hope this helped you out. Let me know down in the comments if you have some more tips or tricks to spot this. Let me know about your experiences. This always is interesting to find out. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this. I see you next episode. Until then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.